Hi friends, this is Mrs. Webb with you today. I hope you're having a great day so far, and I'm here to do our math lesson together. Today we're just going to review a learning goal that we've already learned, and it's going to be an easy, quick review, and then you'll get to go to Seesaw and do choose some of your own problem types. Or I should say number sets. Our learning goal that we're reviewing is I can solve subtraction problems with the result unknown. And the word result means the answer. So the answer to a subtraction problem is called does anybody remember that vocabulary word? It's the difference. The answer to an addition problem is called the sum, but the answer to a subtraction problem, the result of a subtraction problem, is called the difference. So that is our learning goal, and so we're going to just hop right over here to our first little activity we're going to do, or story problem. So if you've got a piece of paper and a pencil, you can grab that, or a whiteboard, something that you can kind of work the problems on before I get to the answer. These are going to be simple number sets we're using just to go over the basic concept of our subtraction. So the first story, we're going to get started. If you need a pause to get something to write with, you can. There were 6 children at the sleepover. 2 children got picked up. How many children stayed? I'm going to move this up a little bit here real quick while you're thinking about that. Probably already have the answer. Like I said, it's going to be a little easier than what we're used to working. There were 6 children at the sleepover. 2 children got picked up. How many children stayed? I bet you got it. Let me go down to the next picture. There's our picture. There's all together our total number was 6, but only how many were left? Did you get it? Let's use simple math drawings to show how 4 children stayed. So one strategy you can use for subtraction is to draw dots. We know that 6 children were the whole number, meaning that was the total that we started with. When you work with subtraction, you always start with the biggest number first. So we've got 6 children, and we're going to draw a line through the number of children that left, and that we know was 2 children leaving. So what does that line, let me go back to that line. What does that line remind you of? And don't be jealous, but I'm going to get my fun little pointer out. Isn't that awesome? What does this symbol remind you of in math when you draw a line across? Yeah, it's a minus sign. It's a minus sign, and minus means to take away. And so in subtraction problems, if you could just use one line there to make it look like a minus sign or a symbol. So we are going to move on and use a number bond. Now some of you, or probably all of you now, have used a number bond. They're called different things. But the total, or the whole amount, goes in the biggest circle, which is this one. And that number represented in our story, that was the number of children staying over at the sleepover. And then on the other two are the parts. This can also be called part, whole. 2 children are the amount that left the sleepover. And 4 children were the amount of children that stayed for the sleepover. So 4 children stayed at the sleepover, and your number sentence looks like this right here. And a number sentence is like a regular sentence in that you can read it. Let's read this number sentence. 6 minus 2 equals 4. And that just represents your work. So let's try another one. Here's another story. Get your pencil ready. There were 7 frogs sitting on a log. 3 frogs leaped into the water. How many frogs were left on the log? Now, before you figure that out, or if you have already the answer in your head, just listen for just a second. Remember, when we're doing math, quick pictures for math is going to be the most efficient thing to do. The fastest way to solve something is to get your strategies down. But drawing frogs would not be the fastest way to solve this problem. So don't draw frogs, even though you might want to. It's not the fastest way. It's not the most efficient way to solve it, because it would take too long to draw all those frogs. Now there's a picture of frogs just for us to have a visual, but when we're working it out, it's not going to look like this. But there are your 7 frogs, and 3 little frogs hopped off, and 4 were left. So we're going to use simple, there's that key word there when you're drawing for math, simple math drawings to show how you know that 4 frogs left the log. There were 7 frogs on the log. The number 7 is the total amount, the whole amount. Draw a line through the frogs that hopped off the log. There's our minus sign. Cross those out. Those are the ones that hopped off. And now let's fill in our number bond, our part whole. There were 7 total. That's how many we started with. Then 3 frogs jumped off the log, and 4 frogs were the ones that stayed on the log. 7 minus 3 equals 4. Okay? So now that we've just reviewed some simple subtraction, some simple strategies to use, let's hop back over to my slides I made for you, if I can get it in there. Okay. I want to talk about a couple vocabulary words quickly, and we're going to just review all of the strategies, or some of the strategies we've learned so far in math this year. You guys even probably know more than the ones I'm going to show you, and I want you to decide which strategies work best for you, okay? Because there's more than one strategy you can use to solve a problem. We know that. The word we're going to review is efficient. Efficient strategies. Using efficient strategies means, what does efficient mean? Did you get it? The fastest way to solve a problem correctly. So I have an example of an inefficient way to solve a math problem here and an efficient way here. So before school was out, some of my students were even doing this still. Instead of, the number sentence was 25 minus 5, but instead of drawing out just 2 sticks to represent tens, some of us were still drawing 25 ones, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and they had to count all those ones till they got to 25. And then they crossed off 5 to get to 20. Now, is 25 minus 5 equal to 20? Is the difference 20? Yes, that is the correct answer. But was it the most efficient way? Was it the fastest way to solve that problem through picture or through base 10? The more efficient way would have been to draw 2 10 sticks. 2 lines would have taken care of all those ones you had to draw. And then you can just draw 5 ones. And 25 minus 5 equals 20 on this side as well. It's the same answer, but this side was more efficient to use this strategy by using tens and ones, not just ones. Okay, so let's just go through some strategies that we have used and we know. Number bonds and drawing pictures. Part whole. 8. If you say 8 and take 4 away, 4 is left. So you can use your number bonds to help you. Drawing quick pictures with dots and lines to cross off. 6 minus 2 equals 4 in this picture. You can use base 10 blocks efficiently. Here's a picture of 23 minus 2 equaling 21. 10, 20. That's the most efficient way to do it. Don't use ones for all those. Another strategy we've learned this year was using 10 frames, because we know that the spaces that are in a 10 frame equal 10 spaces. So if you were to just quickly draw a rectangle and add 5 on top and 5 on bottom, you've got a 10 frame to work with. And you can show 2 10 frames to do something like 15 minus 3. That's another strategy you can use. Another strategy we used this year or learned were fact families. So you can use the numbers that you have in your story and turn it into an addition problem that will help you with your subtraction. And using number lines, counting back and counting on, will help you also, is another strategy that we've learned this year. And I know that there are even more strategies that you guys are using besides the ones that I showed here. So what I challenge you to do today is to go to Seesaw and choose 2 out of the 4 number sets that I left for you there. And it's a story about hot dogs on a grill. And Try to remember the strategies we reviewed and think about the most efficient strategy that you can use that's best for you. Have fun, and we miss you, and have a great day. Love you guys.